Hello, my name is David Biel, and I am the band director at Heritage Middle School.
And I'm Kate Biel. I am a sixth grade math teacher at Heritage Middle School.
And today, what we're going to be doing is talking to you guys about what Microsoft Teams is. Okay, this is a brief overview. So, a lot of us have been using Teams as a video chat app, and that's only a small portion of what this is. So, Microsoft Teams overall is a bigger thing, right? What you need to think of Microsoft Teams as is a office that you're walking into. So when you go into school, you have different areas in school. You walk into your classroom and you may have a phone that you pick up, or you go to your computer and work on a Word document, or you might have a specific place for kids to turn in work, or you have stations around the room that kids can work in. Also, in the building, you might have a place that you go to a department meeting, or you go to the library and have a full staff meeting. That's how you need to think of Microsoft Teams. It's a virtual office with all these different components. Video is only a small part of the component of what we are doing. So what I'm going to do is show you a general layout of what Microsoft Teams is. Pull up my screen here. And if I'll show you my screen. So as you go into Teams, you're going to have almost every team application looks identical, right? The computer and online look just like this, just like what you're seeing. The mobile version, like on a phone, is a condensed version, but still has all the same functionality. Tablets are pretty close to this. So over on the left side, we have these different tabs, okay? The activity tab is just things going on, right? I have two things going on right now, just to kind of like a little notification, so I could check on that. The chat is just like messages on your phone. So you can go into the chat, you can send messages to a group of people like a group text, or you can send a message to one individual person. And that stays within Teams, and it's kind of like a working environment instead of sending them a message through email or through text. So the thing that we've been using chat for lately is our kids can actually chat with any of their teachers and ask questions right now while everybody's at home. So it's a really great district supported resource. Then we have the Teams area, which is the main focus of what we're going to be talking about. We have assignments, which is another way you can get to what Mrs. Beal is going to talk about in a moment. Calendar, which is what we've been using a lot lately, is the way to get to see all of your team's meetings in one place. There's the calls area, which is something that we're not in Friendship ISD using right now, so we'll ignore that for just right now. And then you have the files section. I'm actually going to say you shouldn't go to files here. We should look at that in another place, which I'll show you. So don't go to this tab. And then if you use some advanced features, you can hit this dot and you can access some more. So as you see, I have all of my teams that I pull up right over here. And the teams are the general area. The teams are the general area and the general things that are going on, right? The big groups, right? For instance, I have my HMS staff group over here, okay? And I have some of my classes, and then we set up a little test team, okay? So again, the team is the bigger group, right? You can set up your team as your entire class. You can set up as your entire group of a couple preps, however you'd like to do it. And then within each team are these channels, these lines down here, okay? So I have a general channel, and that's the default channel. That's the kind of the regular main channel for everybody. And then, like, let's say this was a teacher-facing team. So this is like our staff. We can actually have the math department, the science department, the electives, or whoever you want to put into this, and then they can specifically have their group that they talk into. Or if this was a student-facing team, then what you can do is I have this group 4. For instance, I can have 4 different groups, maybe, or 5, or whatever you want to divide it up, and I have it restricted. You can see that lock, and only those kids can see that group and me, right? So that's their own little area. So whenever you go to general, the main thing that you see is the posts area. You should think about this posts area as just the bulletin board, okay? This is the main area. It's not a chat room. It's more like Facebook, right? So when you think of like Facebook, you might have a friend say something, and then you have a bunch of different things going on, right? So if you want to respond to that friend, you're not going to go to your status update and update your status and then say something, right? You're going to hit reply for that. And that's how you can think of this. Okay, so it's kind of like a little mini Facebook within this. So you can see that there's a lot of things going on here already. Mrs. Biel had a question just the other day, and I hit reply, and I could reply to her question. That's called a conversation, that little area. Whenever I reply to her question, she'll actually get a little activity thing up there, and she could respond back to that, and then multiple people can respond, and this is a post for everybody to see. Or you can start your own conversation. See, I started a new conversation down here. It's kind of a new thread, or I can have a new announcement. We can also do, like you can have, well, what I was just saying a second ago was these announcements. This is an example of one of the announcements. You can click all these different buttons for different functionality. For instance, I can click that button and really see a lot more. I could do an announcement or start a new conversation and really have a lot more formatting to it, which really helps sometimes when you want to show some kids some things. So that's just an overview of posts. Let's go up here to these tabs up at the top. This is the files tab. This is the collection of all of the files that everybody could see within this team. So this is a really great collaboration space. We used to kind of think about Dropbox and OneDrive, like you share a folder, then I go to my OneDrive and do that. This is a great place to put everything all in one space, right? And what's really great about this is you can actually open up and start new Word, Excel, PowerPoint documents right within here and then edit it within here. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to look at this collaboration worksheet, and I'm going to hit this check mark right next to it and then hit open, and I'm going to open it in Word Online. Okay, so when I do that, it pops up with my worksheet right over here. So I'm looking at this, and this is just like a regular Word editor. I can edit everything right within my browser. So I'm going to go, here is thing 3. So when I edit that, I can actually go in, add things to it. And the great thing is you can see there's someone else editing it right now. This is Kathleen Biel is editing this, and you can see her cursor, and you can see what she's doing live. Now, by the way, there's a little bit of lag, but pretty close to live. And we can do this all at the same time. This is a great functionality. Instead of hey, here's this Word document that I'm emailing you, edit this document, let me know what you think, then send it back to me. Well, everybody can edit the document all at the same time. So instead, you can say, hey, there's a document in the Teams. Go ahead and add your thoughts. I actually see the notifications of what's going on. So this is a really great way for everybody to collaborate all in one area. Now, I will tell you, there is a functionality to be able to edit this within Teams without having to even go to Word or a separate app or online. Right now, because of the COVID crisis, Microsoft has actually limited that, so you can't do it within Teams, but you can certainly do it online exactly like I just showed you, and it's the same thing. It's just a really, really convenient way for everybody to be able to edit documents all together. So you can add folders, all that stuff in here. I'm going to look up this next thing is the class notebook. Now, Class Notebook is a tab that comes in, and this is actually a OneNote. Now, to give you a very general overview of what OneNote is, that is just basically a notebook, right? If you have a notebook, you have a page, and that page you can write different notes on. You can add or paste in different things that you want to remember just in a collection, and then that page has different tabs, right? So you have sections that kind of section off meeting notes or reference or class things or whatever I'm doing for professional development. And then you have your overall notebook, which is those parts of your life, right? So I have a general notebook for work, and I might have one for personal, or I might have one for a project that I'm working on with another group of people. So that's an overview of what OneNote is, and you should definitely check that out. Within this actually gives you a really cool functionality of using a class notebook, and I can show you that now. So this is the class notebook, and it actually just populates with everything automatically and just gives you a lot of templates right off the bat, which is really cool. You have different things that the students can see that are things that you just post that only you can edit and you can see, or everybody can see, but only you can edit. I actually have here some students that their parents gave us permission to show their names here. And these students are within this same area. I have this collaboration space, which is actually a space that everybody can post to, and everybody can see stuff within the classroom. And then, for instance, I can look at this one student, and this is actually their own notebook that only they see and only I see. So they can actually have these different areas within their own notebook that's personal to them that you can have access to and help them with it. The really awesome feature of this is you can create a note and then you can push that to all of these kids. For instance, Mrs. Beal created this comp review tab, and she has comp review 18. So what she did is created a general thing. She sent this to everybody. It copied it to every single kid. And so now they have their comp review here that they can download and work on their own. So if I look at this next child down here, they actually have the same thing, right? So you can actually push out worksheets that they can work on. And when they edit it, it's theirs, but it's a copy of what you've done all through the whole thing. Really cool template functionality. And there's so much more to that, but that's just a general overview of the classroom. Now what Mrs. Beal is going to do is she is going to go over and talk about assignments and the assignments part of everything.
Yeah, the OneNote is really a great way to do class notes or something. It's a really great way to have those kids collaborate. But for me, what I would utilize for like homework or any other daily assignment is I would use this assignments tab. Now, anytime you create a class team, it's going to give you these kind of general automatic tabs up here at the top, and assignments is one of them. So what I have done is I've gone ahead and I've added 2 assignments. Well, you can create an assignment or a quiz. Now they look pretty much exactly the same thing, but they do totally different things. So let's look at the assignment first. I'll go ahead and click on it. These are the kids that either haven't turned it in yet or have looked at it but haven't really finished. And then I also have one that has been graded and returned for them to maybe do reassessments or do corrections, however you would like to do that. So if I go into edit assignment, this is exactly what it looked like whenever I was creating the assignment. I created the title, and you can tag it with a couple of tags if you want to have little sections of assignments that you can find. Then I have the instructions, and I have actually uploaded a PDF of the weekly homework comp review, where they can click on it, download it, and maybe print it out if they would like, and then they can upload it back into their teams, and that's what I can grade. So you don't have to worry about paper or anything. I don't know about you guys, but I really just don't like taking home paperwork over the weekend and grading. It's just not a lot of fun for me. Another really awesome functionality is this rubric. Since we have comp reviews every week, I've gone ahead and created a rubric for the kids to see exactly what I'm looking for as far as showing work or boxing or circling answers. Now, of course, yours is going to look different, but this rubric is really a great functionality of this assignments tab. I have made the due date, and you can edit the due date as well, but this is just exactly what it looks like whenever you go in to create an assignment. So then if you go up here to the student view, this is exactly what the kids will see. It's very basic, very user-friendly. They've got the instructions, they've got the materials, they can click on it, it automatically pops up, they can print it out, show their work, do everything they need, and then re-upload it back up here. They can also see the rubric, so they know exactly what you're looking for, which is really, really handy. But again, this is a really great functionality. So let's go ahead and let's look at, it looks like Carson Smith has looked at his, but we're not quite sure, he hasn't turned his in just yet. Once he does, this is where his work is going to be shown. This is where it's going to be. So let's say he has gone ahead and turned in his homework. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, while looking at his homework, click on the rubric. And I'm going to say, oh, you know what? It looks like every single question has all of his work shown, even his description of mental math. So I'm going to click that he has done that, and he has done an excellent job showing his work. And then, oh, you know what? It looks like a couple of these answers are not boxed or circled. So I'm going to go ahead and click on good because they're not all done. But if you notice up here, it has automatically tabulated his grade based on what you what points you applied to the rubric. So he, out of all of these, he's got a 96 out of 100. You can click done, and then it automatically tabulates those points, and it'll put those in as his grade. Now you can also return it to him so he can then see his grade and then either do corrections or whatever you would like to have them do, and he shows up in this graded tab. Now there's also a grades tab up here right next to the assignments tab that you can click on, and it's a really easy way for you to see everybody's grades so far in this one assignment. Now we did have one other assignment, but this is the assignment that we're worried about. Carson got a 96, McKenna hasn't turned hers in yet. I've given Tristan his back, and it's just a really great piece of functionality within this. So that's an assignment. If you want to create a quiz, I have gone ahead and done a comp check. Every Friday, the kids will have a homework check to make sure that they're brilliantly confident on their weekly homework. It looks very, very similar to an assignment, but what it did automatically was send me to forms. Now, if anybody has used forms, you know how absolutely basic and easy it is to use for really anything. So I have gone ahead and I created their weekly comp check in forms, and I've assigned it to this test team. If I want, I can click on this and then I can assign it to actually any one or multiple teams that I have. So here are all my class teams. If I want to send it to everybody, I can absolutely do that. Or if I just have a couple of students that I want to send it to, I can click on all students and then just pick and choose whoever gets this quiz. Okay, now I've gone ahead and made this quiz in advance. So if I go into this edit button, you can see that I've scheduled it to assign in the future for next Friday. And then I've given the due date, and then I've closed it, meaning I'm not accepting any more late work after the next Tuesday. So that is another great way for you to kind of not have to keep track of the due dates or the, make sure everything is all copacetic and everybody's turning in everything. And it's just a really great way to keep track of all of this. So if I click on this forms, it will automatically load up within the kids' teams, and this is exactly what they will see. So they'll answer question 1, put their answer down here, yada yada, and then once they submit, it will automatically grade that for them, and then it'll make it so much easier on me, so I don't have to go in and check all those grades and grade them all by hand, take all those things home for the weekend and everything. So there are all the assignments and grades. Now up here, after this grades tab, on really any class team that you create, these are all your basic functions, but if you want to create a new tab, like what I have created up here is a Comp Question Tuesday tab. How to do that is very, very, very simple. All you got to do is just click on this Add Tab button, and you can click on any one of these apps. There's a million of them. Any of these apps that you want these kids to have access to, you can put an embedded YouTube video up there. You can put a website up there, another PDF, a PowerPoint, anything you want. You can put in another tab up there at the top of their screen. What I have done is I've created a poly, and I've named it Comp Question Tuesday. So whenever they click on this, after I've created a poly, this is how they will tell me what questions they have that they want me to go over when we do Comp Question Tuesday. So here are all my results. I've posted it. And then once I create that tab, it automatically posts it to the general posts. And then all the kids will see this poly and they can say, okay, what questions do I have? Well, I'm not confident on number 8 or number 17, and they can submit. And then I will be able to see all of their results. And it's just a really, really great way for you to add anything up here for the kids to utilize. There's a whole lot more that you can use for sure. But it's just one of those things that you'll just have to play around with.
So Microsoft Teams is not the end-all be-all solution for everything, right? There's so many platforms out there, and not every platform is perfect. So you have to realize that when you're kind of going into this. But this is a platform that has so much to it that's not just for just your classroom or just your work. It's kind of everything all in one. And this is what the professionals are using out in the world, so we can better prepare our students in the future for what they're going to be using. And I know a lot of professionals actually literally use Microsoft Teams in their daily life.
Now, of course, you can always contact me or David if you have any questions, but your first resource needs to be your on-campus technology personnel. They are brilliant in all things Microsoft Suite, so let them be your first go-to. But of course, you can always send us any quick questions that you have. We really hope that you got to see a couple of new things that you didn't know about Teams, and thank you guys so much.